Morocco has an interesting set of railways, from brand new modern high-speed trains to its more dated fleet of classic local-haul trains. And with its fairly large network, there's even sleeper trains. And tonight I'm going to be catching exactly one of those. So join me to figure out what you can expect in a shared Couchette on a Moroccan night train as I travel from Tangier to Marrakesh. Our journey begins at the Grand Station located in Tangier, a port city right on the confluence of the Atlantic Ocean and the Mediterranean Sea. The station was extensively rebuilt with the arrival of the Al Borak high-speed train about 5 years ago, which this sticker celebrates. However, the first railway arrived in Tangier around the 1920s, albeit at a different station than the one in use today. The current Tangier station is a modern open complex with plenty of shops and food outlets. And of course there's also services such as a ticket office. And I really like how many indoor plants they have in here. Upstairs from the food court there's also a great view of the platforms, although this late at night there's not much going on. As our train leaves in about 3 hours at 23:45, I spent the time working on a university assignment that was also due in about 3 hours. And after some aggressive keyboard typing, it's time to head to the platforms. Track 4 for us tonight. Most of Morocco's long-distance trains on the classic network is branded Al Atlas, and it's no different for sleeper trains. And here we are at our 23:45 departure bound for Marrakesh. The rear of the train has one sole Couchette carriage attached. And I can't figure out if the train is supposed to have a single sleeper carriage too. It seems like they redeploy these quite often, so who knows. But what's for certain is that this Alstom Prima locomotive, known as the E1400 series in Morocco, will be pulling us to Marrakesh. Technically, they can go 200 km per hour, but they don't go above 160 in service on the Moroccan railways. And now I think it's time to head on board. Upon boarding, you will hand your ticket to the conductor, who will show you to your room. And here we are, home for the next 9-ish hours, down to Marrakesh. We'll take a closer look at the compartment tomorrow, but for now, this will do. A large and very soft and comfortable pillow is provided, along with bed sheets, which you use to make the rest of the bed yourself. A large and thick blanket is also provided. Your bags are best placed under the bed. Our train starts rolling out of Tangier Ville station bang on time at 23:45. And as there's not much to see outside, let's instead take a look at the route map. We are on board sleeper train Al Atlas TM. Leaving Tangier, we'll head south along the classic line, making several stops. Our train will make a reversal at Sidi Kazem. We continue on to Rabat and Casablanca in the early morning hours before continuing down to Marrakesh for our 9 AM arrival. This is a distance of 654 kilometers covered in 9 hours and 16 minutes, giving the train an average speed of 71 kilometers per hour. With the very late departure of this train, it's already time to hit the bed. Good night, see you in the morning. Good morning, about 7 hours later. We are only about an hour away from Marrakesh at this point. Unfortunately, this was one of my worst nights on board a night train, getting almost no sleep. Not so much because of the frequent stops or the quality of the bed, but these carriages are so dirty that they made my eyes red and nose running non-stop. Which is a shame, because this pillow is probably among the best I've ever had on a night train. And for a Couchette, the bed was actually pretty soft. But that's about it for amenities, with a pretty much useless reading light, and you will feel like you're sleeping in your grandmother's bedroom. But that is a vibe after all. The weather in this part of Morocco can change fast, with this beautiful sunny morning turning into a foggy mess in just a matter of minutes. And almost as soon as we entered the foggy area, we are back out somewhere where the sun shines. Before we get to Marrakech, I would have loved to show you the rest of the train, but this carriage actually gets completely locked overnight, which is probably good for safety reasons. However, the rest of the train is just regular daytime first and second class carriages, found both in open seat and compartment carriages, just as on regular daytime Al Atlas trains. But what I can show you instead is the toilet. The door was a bit broken, but I managed. We got a basic sink with very low pressure, but it was working. While the toilet wasn't exactly clean, I guess it was usable. And to my surprise, everything was functioning, so while it's quite disgusting, if you really had to, you could get what needs to be done. One thing you can do at the front of the train near the toilet is watch the engine pull or train. These engines are actually quite powerful, offering up to 81,000 horsepower, and ONCF has a total of 20 of them. But a less strong offer on board is definitely the quality of the Couchette carriages. First of all, there's literally no way to lock the carriage from the inside, and the control panel only offers volume control as well as light control and a button to call the attendant. The wall seems quite thin and doesn't block out much noise. Every bed do get a reading light. Behind the ladder to help you access the top bunks is a table that can also be folded away like this. In addition to under the beds, above you'll also find some space for bags. Space indeed is quite limited, so don't bring anything too big. So as we make our way into Marrakech, I have to say I wasn't exactly impressed with this night train. It's dirty, outdated, and with the many stops overnight, even if you don't get a stuffy nose, it might still be hard to sleep. However, I will say the comfy bed and pillow do make somewhat up for it. So what I would do next time is probably just take a high-speed train from Tangier to Casablanca and then get a daytime train to Marrakech, which takes about 5 hours in total. And Morocco just last year has awarded the contract to build a high-speed line all the way from Kenitra via Casablanca to Marrakech. So it's likely once that high-speed line opens, we'll see the end of this sleeper train. So here, as we pass by the carriages sitting outside of Marrakech station, you're probably wondering how much you have to pay to suffer in this sleeping carriage. I paid 370 dirham for one bed in a shared couchette, which is about 35 euros. So it's definitely cheap, and it's much preferable to sitting upright in a seat, which is only slightly cheaper. While tickets for the seated carriages can be booked online, the same cannot be said for the beds in the couchette, which you have to do at a train station. The beds can sell out, but more often than not, there are even spaces available on the day, so I would just go to a train station whenever convenient while you're in Morocco. Rail travel in Morocco is a great way to get around, but on this corridor, I'd stick with the daytime ones. So what did you think of this night train? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you want to see more videos like this, make sure you are subscribed to the channel, as I try to post a new one every Sunday. You can also follow me over on Twitter at IntercitySimon. I usually post live from my travels over there, so it's a great place to get a sneak peek at what videos might be coming to the channel in the future. Thanks for watching.